Over this past weekend, I've been checking out the Back 4 Blood beta. For those of you unaware, this is the spiritual successor to the Left 4 Dead franchise, one of the greatest zombie killing series the video game industry has ever seen, and that's saying something when it feels like 1 out of every 5 games has you fighting zombies. But Left 4 Dead did it just about as good as anyone. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with this beta. Before I do get into the beta itself, I want to rant a little bit about how you got into this thing, if you didn't pre-order it, that is. Keys were given out through these things called Twitch drops, which I had never heard of. I didn't even know people still played video games on Twitch. I thought it was just girls in hot tubs doing squats. But apparently, if you search hard enough, you will still find people playing video games on Twitch TV. So to do this first, I had to make a WB account, which already I can't stand it when I have to make these random accounts just to play a single game. That's stupid. But then I had to tie that to my Twitch account. Then I had to watch one of these, I assume they're sponsored streamers, for an hour, I think it was, and then they'd send me the key, and then I had to get the key activated on my Xbox. A lot of steps, and even this watching the people stream thing, I get cross promotion for the game and streamers, by having people have to watch these streamers. Both the game and these streamers get some attention. But I also assume most people like me are only watching to get these keys, and you probably just minimize it and wait for the Twitch drop thing to finish. But on top of that, it's not like you just have to watch any random Back 4 Blood stream. It has to be, one of these chosen streamers, and they have to have these Twitch drops enabled. I just think the whole thing is overly convoluted. At least just let me watch anyone streaming the game. Give me a break. Again, I get you want to bring all this specific attention, but at the end of the day, what's the real number? 80% or 80% of the people even watching any of these streamers actively? I doubt it. So I thought all that was a bit much, but again, it's not like they have to give everybody a beta key anyway. They could have just made it you have to pre-order the game, so I guess it's better than having to drop $60 to try out the game. So now on to the actual game. Back 4 Blood is once more the spiritual successor to the Left 4 Dead games, being developed by people who worked on those titles. It's always a bit nerve-wracking checking out these types of spiritual successors, right? The expectations are typically huge because, they're invoking a game franchise that a lot of people love and have missed. And oftentimes, these titles fall not just short, way short. So it's always nice when you can check one out before you throw money down on it. When you start the game up, you actually spawn in this hub area. It's like a little survivor town with NPCs you can interact with. The main thing, at least in this beta, that you can mess with here are these cards in this deck building you can do. You have these cards that you can equip that give you different perks, like more health, ammo, etc. And they can even be more specific, like triggering a buff when you use a healing item, or giving you a knife that upgrades your melee attack. And you build out a full deck with these cards to give yourself a unique build. It's very RPG-ish in that you can make yourself more of a healer, tank, or whatever. Each time you start a stage, you draw some of these cards and get to pick which ones you want to apply to yourself. And as you play through an act, like during a session, you go through an act that consists of multiple stages, and at the beginning of each stage, you get to keep applying more cards and making yourself more powerful. I think this is a great way to keep people playing, as you can keep unlocking more and better cards to have different deck builds, to change up your playstyle, as well as help you tackle harder difficulties. If you have a better, more complete build, you can probably get through harder content. You also obviously choose a character to play as, and all the different characters also have their own perks that are gonna, help combo with your deck build in that. The campaign mode, it is very much Left 4 Dead. You and your squad of 4 other players move through these acts, once more made up of several stages, fighting off endless swarms of zombies. I believe they're called the Ridden in this game. You've got to stick with your teammates to try and not get overwhelmed or picked off. Like I was saying, you're going to want to kind of make a build that works for your playstyle, even if, say, you prefer to use shotguns, right? Maybe you want to make a build that helps you improve your reload speed so you can slam those slugs in there way faster. The weapons themselves have a lot of customization. You can, of course, find different weapons as you play through a level just scattered around the environment, but at the start of each level, you get access to a little shop box where you can buy weapons as well as usable items like pipe bombs and med packs. You can also get attachments for the guns, like laser sights, different barrels that make the gun more powerful, bigger mags, etc. So yeah, I mean, it's worth emphasizing the customization options in this game cannot be understated. As you play through the act, you get more money by killing zombies, helping your teammates, as well as just finding piles of it in the environment. So you're going to want to do whatever you can to boost your funds so you can buy better items, better weapons at the start of each level, which again will help you manage to get through more of the content. Also, just like Left 4 Dead, you've got these segments in levels that will summon a horde of infected, and you've got to sort of hold the line. And if you aren't prepared or don't play properly, like use your items right, you will likely get overwhelmed. If your team all dies on a stage, you have to start it over, and you've got 3 continues to get you through the act, and if you use all the continues, it's game over. So yeah, the gameplay is very, very reminiscent of Left 4 Dead, and just like Left 4 Dead, I had an absolute blast playing this campaign. It was just 1 act available in this beta, but there's a lot in it to play. Tough at parts, especially if you play on the harder difficulties. Like on the hard mode, you cannot screw around if you want to get through the entire act. I wasn't able to do it myself. But again, with the RPG stuff, I think that's going to make you want to play through the game, grind some of the cards in that so you can, again, have a better chance at beating those harder difficulties. In terms of the visuals, the game looks great, oftentimes in a disgusting sort of way. A lot of bodies and bile strewn about the environment at just about all times. The gameplay you're seeing was captured on the Xbox Series X. I really enjoyed the environments in this game, like the lighting, fog effects, really set the mood and makes you a bit nervous about what you may be walking into. And you've, of course, got a ton of enemies flooding the screen at once at almost all times. And if you get surrounded, it can get to the point where it's like you can't even really see what's going on. You're just spraying bullets and hoping you clear out the zombies, all the zombie bodies fall before you do. And the frame rate, even in these sections, holds up pretty well. Yeah, especially given how chaotic things get. I did notice some dips, sure, and also some minor glitches, like with zombies getting caught in the geometry, some animation jank here and there. I even at one point did get a game-breaking bug where I spawned in to a game but just couldn't move. But still, I think the game's performing very well. These were minor things, and this is still beta for a title that has a few months more to iron out a lot of these issues. But overall, it performed well, and once more, most importantly, I thought it was incredibly fun to play. But that's enough blowing smoke up this game's ass. Let's move on to the Versus mode, because that I didn't like so much. As you'd expect, this mode divides players into 2 teams. One team plays as the zombies, the ridden, and one plays as the humans. And these matches take place on smaller stages. It's sort of like a horde mode type deal where the humans are just trying to survive in the area for as long as they can. As the humans, you've got a lot of similar tools at your disposal as in the main game. You've got the card stuff going on between rounds, you can apply more cards and stuff like that. There are different weapons and tools strewn about the map for you to acquire. Having a balanced team is going to help you here, just like in the campaign. You're going to want to have people that are, healers and can best take advantage of the healing items. Maybe someone who can tank and take on the infected head-on and just kind of soak some of that damage. On the ridden side of things, players can take control of different types of the special monsters. These different monsters also have variants for each type. So there's one monster that can be focused on trying to explode on top of the humans to spray this poison juice everywhere, but you can choose the other variant where the same monster is more focused on shooting the poison juice as a projectile from far away. A lot of focus on spreading your fluids on people, so if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, you'll probably like playing on the ridden side. So yeah, the 2 sides collide. The humans can't respawn. The ridden do respawn. They have a respawn timer. and are trying to kill the humans as fast as possible. For each round, each team will have a go of it as the humans, and whoever survives the longest wins the round. Overall, the mode isn't bad. I just find the small area thing, just, holding out the whole deal, kind of boring. With this type of game, I prefer doing like maybe a slice of a level or something that the players have to run through, get from point A to B, and having the Britain do the same thing, basically, spawning, trying to stop them. I think this type of game lends itself better to that. But my main issue with the Versus is the games go on too long. You do have this death circle that's closing in on the human players, kind of Fortnite style, so it gets basically to the point where there's nowhere to go, so the game has to end eventually. But there are 3 rounds of this shit, with again each team playing each side each round. So effectively you can end up playing like 6 games within one of these matches, with each one going for like 5 minutes each, plus the humans get a couple minutes to prep before that timer even starts. I think that's just way too much. Like, after I played 2 matches of this, I was burnt out. Also, this constant rounds, switching sides deal, I feel that stuff not only makes the games drag, like, again, when there's this prep stuff, it just feels like you're waiting for the game to start, and to do that 6 times in one match. But beyond that, I think these things give people more opportunities to like leave a game. I mean, that's going to be really annoying if you slog through like 2 rounds of this, get to the 3rd and final round, meaning you've essentially played 4 games, and then people on your team like rage quit on you, leave you by yourself to just get stomped. I'm sure you guys have seen that, and I think that's another reason to keep Versus modes tighter in terms of playtime. People are less likely to quit if games are only going to take you like 10-15 minutes to get through. And like I said at the beginning, I didn't find this to be that much fun, especially compared to the campaign mode. If there aren't some changes to the Versus mode, I see it quickly becoming a dead mode in this game. But that was really my only major gripe with the beta. So yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed this beta for the campaign. When the game comes out, that's probably what I'd be primarily focused on anyway. So if the Versus mode doesn't hold up as well, it wouldn't really bother me, because that's not really what I was drawn to this game for in the first place. And I assume that's going to be similar for a lot of other people, like the co-op is going to be the main draw, but that's not an excuse to not have the Versus mode be good as well. And I think it could be decent with some minor tweaks, like even just, not making it such a time investment to play. But obviously I'd like to see something that plays more like the campaign. I think people would just overall have a lot more fun with that. There'd be a lot more interesting strategies and stuff people could develop and implement against each other. Still though, I think this is a strong showing that has me excited to check out the full release, which I will be doing as this game is going to be coming to Xbox Game Pass Day 1, so since I already have Game Pass, there's no reason for me not to check it out. But for now, to reiterate, I really enjoyed the beta, and if you're able to check it out yourself, I recommend you do so. Because with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on the Back 4 Blood beta in the comments. Have you played the beta yourself? And does this game look like it's going to live up to the Left 4 Dead successor hype to you? As always, I'm the Shy Guy, Johnny Zakari, and thanks for watching.